So I drag the image into my FTP warehouse folder, refresh the browser, and there's the image. Now you need to refresh it each time you do that, because of course it's not going to reflect what you've just put on the server until you refresh it. So what we've now done is create an SVG. We've saved it and we've now dragged it into a warehouse folder. So to use an image, all you do is drag it into a warehouse folder. And in this case, you can see in this warehouse folder, I've started to organize it. Just like any file system, you need to keep it organized. So I've got icons, images, logo, etc. So as you're creating something, this is how you do it. Now, I talked about live editing. You click on something, you can now go and click this. In Forklift, this is the edit, and you set it up to just be a text editor. So it's now opening the image. Oops. Where's it gone? There we are. Now, this is the SVG code. It's just text. Nothing special about it. You obviously can't open up a PNG or a JPEG and see anything meaningful, but you can see some meaningful stuff here. And this is what I think is really good about the Autodesk graphic application and the way that it creates things. So you may recall we set the width and the height to 300 pixels. Well, there it is. It's all there, easy for you to see. You can ignore the view box setting for a moment, but that's also there. And then you've got two things really. You've got two paths. Anything after a path is a scalable vector path, and the first one, this code here, this is just a circle, and then the next one is this complex image. Each one of these is a path, and each one has to be defined, and that's why there's a lot more. But even still, it's not a big file. And it's text, so it'll just compress down to nothing. And the graphic app also puts in the name of the graphic. So if you've gone to the trouble of naming it, it also gives you the name, iOS Flower Outline. So that's really handy to have. So it just allows you to go in and do this. Now, the fill here in this path, in the first part of this graphic, is the background color. It's this blue color. Okay. So let's go and get another color. This is a great application called SIP. SIP. I'm just going to change it into this green. Double clicking on it loads up the color for you. If I now go in here, outline that hex code, hash followed by 6 digits, paste it. You can see I've pasted in a new color. If I now do save, we've now saved this new color into this file on that server at that address. Now, we haven't gone near RapidWeaver, we haven't loaded anything up. Okay. If I now refresh this, I will expect this background color to change to the new color I've used. There we go. So we've just live edited that simply by using a text editor. And if you consider the implications of all of this, you don't need to start up RapidWeaver. You don't need to wait for your program to load up, go in, find the graphic, go and start up your graphic program, create a new version of this icon with a different background, load it into RapidWeaver, publish, test it. All I've done is right click on that file live on my server, and I've edited it by hand. And for a lot of things, a lot of simple changes, that's what you can do. So this image could be used throughout a 100-page project. Doesn't matter, they all change instantly. This image could be used for a check mark in a bullet point throughout a whole page. As soon as I make that change and update it, they all change together. So it is hugely powerful. It gives you a lot more scope and creativity and be able to try different things. Because it's so quick, you can try it with different colors. It's much quicker to just, by trial and error, arrive at what you want to get to by doing it this way. So as long as you understand hex colors, and if you don't, if you call up the color picker, so there's all your colors. If you go to here, there's the color. That's your hex code, and it has hash followed by those 6 hex digits. Now we can go further. We can change all sorts of other things. But if I was to make that transparent, that background transparent, I would be left with just the icon. I could change the transparency of the icon. So there's a whole load of stuff you can do. So I encourage anyone using SVGs to use Autodesk Graphic. It is such a great low-cost app. There's also an iPad version of it, really cheap. And you can do exactly the same stuff on there. Okay, if you have any questions, post them over on the Google Plus or the Weaver Space web design forum. Okay, there's just one more final part of this, which I should probably emphasize and go over. The address that's here, mysite.com warehouse. This would be your site. So this is your server. This is your domain. So where you see the word my site, you put the name of your domain in there. And this assumes that you have you have created a folder called warehouse. And this assumes that you have put the image called image1.svg into that folder. Okay. Now, when you go into your FTP program and you right click on the name of that image, you'll get back the URL, and depending on the FTP program you're using, you'll get different formats, and sometimes you'll get this, sometimes you'll get this one. So it puts the public underscore HTML in there, which you don't want. So you need to be aware of that. So you should remove that. If the method of you extracting this address has that in there, you need to take that out. So you need to get from this one here to that one there. And then to use this in most warehouse capable stacks, you need to change the www dot into http://. So this would be what you actually enter into the link, which will open up when you select to enter a warehoused image in a RapidWeaver warehouse enabled stack. And then the final part of this is, I mentioned briefly that you should organize it. And in fact, in the web design templates and projects, we include a folder of ready configured warehouse images, which are broken down into icons, backgrounds, dividers, images, that sort of stuff, simply to make it organized. So in that case, what you would do is you would drag the entire warehouse folder in the projects and templates just straight into your document root. And then to get to image one, which in this case, if we decide to put it into icons, you'd obviously have to have the icons folder before it. Okay, hope that makes sense, and thank you for watching.